Hello, you're welcome to another session in our English tutorials. We have been learning about Lexis and Structure. For our last class, we dealt a lot on sentence patterns and word classes. For this class, we're going to be learning about moods, tenses, aspects, question tags, and positive, comparative, and superlative. You don't want to miss that. Let's get right to it. Okay, for the first part of the Lexis and Structure that we're going to deal with now is the mood. Moods are commonly used to describe how an individual person feels at a given time. They also are used to describe the atmosphere of a group of people, places, eras, and time periods, like the 90s, the 70s, or in the 18th century. There are time periods to show people's moods. So the moods can either be cheerful, humorous, sad, playful, adventurous. All of that are all moods. So for the next, we have tenses. Tense is the form a verb takes to show the time an action or event happened or is happening. There are three main tenses in the English language. The main ones. We have other ones, but these are the main ones. We have the present, past, and future tenses. So examples as we have, I am going home. That's for present tense. I am going home. It's happening right now. It's not happening later. Right now, I am going home. For past tense, I went home. To tell you that it already passed, it happened before. Future tense, I will go home soon. It's going to happen later, but not now. I will go home soon. That's for tenses. It shows when an action, the action of going home, is taking place or will take place, whether it's the future taking place at the moment or whether it already happened. So we are looking at aspects now. Aspects is a verb form that indicates time-related characteristics of the verbs, such as completion, duration, or repetition of action. Okay? The form or aspect, rather, the aspects that a verb takes would either show if an action has been completed, or if it's still ongoing, or you're doing it, or if it's a repeated action. So in the English language, we have two major primary aspects in English language, and that is the perfect, sometimes called the perfective aspect, and the progressive aspect, sometimes called the continuous form. So let's look at examples of aspects. For examples here, for the perfect aspect, we have I have eaten my food. It shows that it's already completed. Don't forget I said aspect is a form of verb takes to show completion or repetition or duration of an action. So for this, we have I have eaten my food. It shows a completed action which has been perfected. For the continuous, we have I am eating my food. So it's showing that it's a process. I'm still doing it. It's a continuous action. For the meantime, I am eating my food. That means I'm not done. I'm in the process of it right now. So those are the two basic aspects in the English language. The perfect, already completed, continuous, still ongoing. So for numbers, numbers refers to the grammatical contrast between the singular, that is the concept of one, and plural, that is more than one, forms of nouns, pronouns, and verbs. For examples here, we can see boy, which is a singular noun, then boys, plural noun. We see wife, singular noun, wives, plural noun. We see my, singular pronoun, and our, plural pronoun. We see do is a plural verb, and does is a singular verb. We see give is a plural verb, and gives is a singular verb. I'm sure some of us must be confused right here because we see the S's at the back usually as the plurals, but I said for the verb it is singular. Yes, that's the rules That's a rule that applies to the verb only. Once you see do, you use that for verbs, or I've used that for subjects that are plural. We do it every day. She does it every day. We do, plural. We is a plural noun. She is a singular noun. So she cannot say she do it every day. That is bad English. She does it every day. So once you have the S at the back, once it is a verb, that is when it is singular. Once you see it without the S at the back, that is when it is plural. So for the give, we give to the less privileged. She gives to the less privileged. Do you get that? I'm sure you do. So, moving on to agreement and concord. This happens when word changes form depending on the other words to which it relates in the sentence it is being used. So, we're looking at the subject-verb concord. If the subject of the sentence is singular, the verb must also be singular. I have to repeat that. If the subject of the sentence is singular, the verb of that sentence must also be singular. If the subject is plural, the verb must also be plural. Remember that. Always remember it. For my example, we can see the window is open. The window is open. Window, singular noun, singular subject, is singular verb. Then we have the adjective open. Then for the next example, we have the windows. Plural subject are plural verb open adjective. Okay? Singular subject, singular verb. Always remember that. What happens when one subject is singular and the other is plural? The agreement and concord depends on the subject placement in the sentence. Okay? We can have more than one subject in a sentence. So what happens if the first subject is singular and the second subject is plural? So which verb form would the verb in the sentence take? You have to follow the rule. You follow the rule which says the verb takes the form, the number form of the number of the subject it is closest to as arranged in the sentence. The verb takes the number form of the subject number it is closest to in the sentence. For example, either the dog or the cats are in the basement. The dog is singular. But we didn't say either the dog or the cat is in the basement. We had to use plural verb, because cats is plural, which is the one closest to the verb as arranged in the sentence. Okay? So, but this only applies to the use of either and or, neither and nor. Okay? Because you're separating the subjects, they are not being joined together. The next example we have is either the twins or Mandy is waiting for you now. The twins, plural. It was before, that took the first position, that's the first position of the subject. Or Mandy. Mandy is just one person, that is singular. So, what form does the verb take? It takes the singular form, and that is. Mandy is waiting for you now. This only applies to either or, neither or no. But when we have two subjects connected by and, the conjunction and, the verb takes the plural form. From the example, we can see Orville and Wilbur are over by the fence. Because the two subjects, Orville and Wilbur, were joined together with the conjunction and, they became plural together. So the plural verb had to be used. Ovil and Wilbur are over by the fence. The rooster and the chickens are missing. The rooster and the chickens have been joined together with the conjunction and. So the both of them have become plural, and the verb form had to be plural also, and it has taken the form of are instead of is. So we're going to move on to degrees. Degrees: positive, comparative, and superlative. Degree is one of the three forms used in the qualitative comparison of adjectives and adverbs. So the first one is positive, or the base form. This modifies a subject but isn't being compared to anything else in terms of quality. It's just on its own. There's no comparison whatsoever. It's just in the base form. For example, I have a smart dog. You're not comparing to anybody. You're just making a statement. My dog is smart. That is an adjective where you have used to qualify the dog smart. Here, the adjective smart simply describes the dog as being intelligent. For the comparative, this compares one degree to another in terms of quality. Compares one degree to another in terms of quality. The example we have: my dog is smarter than many of his breeds. My dog is smarter than many of his breeds. In the sentence, the subject modified by the adjective smarter is superior to the subject modified by the base form, the smart dog. You know, the first example we had in the positive form, it was just my dog is a smart dog. But now we're trying to compare the dog with another set of another group of dogs, and that is my dog is smarter than most of many of his breeds. Now we're going to look at superlative. Superlative compares the degree against others and declares itself as superior. Superior to everything else, the best in the list of everything else. The example we have: my dog, Homer, is the smartest dog that ever lived. This dog is smarter than both the smart and the smarter dog, or any other dog for that matter, at least according to the owner. So if the owner says my dog is the smartest dog ever, so even if someone said my dog is smarter than the dogs in the whole area, okay, this one comes up to say my dog is the smartest dog ever. So that means he is above the smarter dog, he is also above the smart dog. So this is superlative, means it is superior to everyone. Hope you get that. So it is in the positive, comparative, and superlative. We have big, bigger, biggest, smart, smarter, smartest, tall, taller, tallest. I don't want to start singing it, but I'm sure you understand what it is. Okay? The comparison: tall, taller, comparing it. My son is tall. My father is taller than your father. My father is the tallest in his village. So among everyone else, he's the tallest. But compared to your father and my father, just your father and my father is taller. Just comparing two people, okay? Then the other one, my father is a tall man. We have that. So moving on, we're going to be looking at question tags. Question tags are short questions at the end of a statement. They are mainly used in speech when we want to confirm that something is true or not, or to encourage a reply from the person we are speaking to. Okay, so question tags are when you hear Mary can speak English, can she? You're trying to confirm if Mary can really speak English, and you are soliciting an answer from your audience, whoever is listening to you, whoever you're talking to or talking with. So Mary can speak English, can she? Johnny is a nice guy, isn't he? So you want to confirm if it is true, if Johnny is nice or if Johnny is wicked. The movie wasn't that bad, was it? You're trying to find out if it was. You have your own opinion, but you're trying to find out someone else's opinion. So that's why the question tag comes at the back. They call it tag because it's just like tagging along. You already have your sentence. You just have to put the question at the back. So Mary can speak English. I believe she can, but do you have another view to it? That's what it meant. The company don't sell shares, do they? The company don't sell shares, do they? So, now we're going to look at the rules that guide question tags. From the first example, we can see Mary can speak English. Can't she? Can was put in the positive form. Can speak English. In the question tag, it had to turn to negative. Can't she? And don't forget that Mary was in the form of a noun, which is the name of Mary, a proper noun. Okay? But when it got to the question tag, it had to be changed to a pronoun appropriate and befitting for Mary. Okay? Mary is a woman, we all know. So we had to use the feminine pronoun for her. Can't she? Don't forget the rule, positive verb in the main statement. Then for the question tags, when you're formulating the question tags, you have the negative. Positive equals to negative. Then your subject, you have to include the equivalent pronoun. For the next one, we have Johnny is a nice guy. Isn't he? Johnny is a guy. Okay, Johnny is a man, is a male. So that is why we had to use he, which is the male pronoun, to replace Johnny, the proper noun. Because the function of a pronoun is to avoid unnecessary repetitions of the noun in a sentence. So this helps us, instead of having to say, Johnny is a nice guy, isn't Johnny? No. We have to use he, replace it with a pronoun, appropriate pronoun according to the subject in the sentence. So don't forget that is singular. Is singular. Is positive. Is positive, and for the question tag, we had to turn it to negative. Positive for the question tag, negative. The movie wasn't that bad, was it? Now we have a switch. Wasn't in the main sentence is negative. We have the apostrophe tint, negative. For the question tag, it had to turn positive. So, don't forget, whatever you have in your main statement, you have to have the opposite in your question tag. The movie wasn't that bad. Wasn't is negative, then the question tag was it. Now we can see that it has replaced the movie in the question tag. Instead for us to say the movie wasn't that bad, was the movie? No. We had to use it to replace the movie. That's the work of a pronoun, and that's how you should always do it in the question tag. So for the last example, the company don't sell shares, do they? The company don't sell shares, do they? The company is the noun. That's a noun phrase. Okay? Don't, negative verb. Don't sell shares. Negative auxiliary verb. Don't sell shares. So, the question tag had to be positive. Do they? We replace the company and put the pronoun they there. I'm taking my time to explain the question tag so that you know how to formulate it on your own. So, always remember negative, positive tag. Positive statement, negative tag. Then always replace the nouns with your equivalent pronouns. Okay? With that, we wrap up this session where we've learnt about question tags, tenses, numbers, agreement and concord, aspects, and moods. Okay, so don't forget to follow us and watch more of our videos as we deal more and learn more in the English language.